Okie dokie, I've made my number generator a little smaller since we're halfway through these moments now, so it's 1 to 5. Let's see what number I get. 1. Wave, eh? Wave for the wave rider? Let's go. The family shopping trip had lasted most of the morning, and you still had to unload everything from the trunk before you could go enjoy the afternoon. You cradled another bag in your arms as you headed towards your house. It was one of the heavier bags from the grocery store, loaded with fresh apples, ripe tomatoes, a bunch of carrots, and even half a watermelon. Ma came out the front door and paused just ahead of you.
It's no trouble.
Need any help with that, Molly? I can bring it the rest of the way if you want me to.
Yes please, it would be helpful. Yes please, it was just too heavy. I've got it. You were doing fine. No, I've got it. You could just manage to hold it. You eagerly agreed with a nod of your head. You needed someone else to take it. You didn't say anything. You could finish the job yourself, no problem. I'm bad with, like, accepting help, so... So it's no, I've got it, but I'll flip a coin as to whether I'm doing fine or I'm not doing fine. So, heads for the top one, tails for the bottom. Hiya! Tails, I don't got it. No, I've got it. Even if it was heavy, you wanted to bring it in yourself. Ma gave you an encouraging grin and rustled her fingers through your brown hair. Thanks, Ma. You set the next bag on the counter. Your older sister began to root around inside for the contents with a sigh. How much is left? Still a few more bags. With a huff and a puff and a blow your house down, Elizabeth continued putting away the groceries, and you retreated out of the kitchen before you could become the target of her bad mood.
Be careful.
What? You hadn't been looking where you were going and bumped right into Mom, almost stepping on her toes to boot. Sorry, Mom. Sorry!
I can give you a pass this time, but be sure to watch where you're going. If you run into the wrong person, you might get your license revoked.
She grinned at the bad joke as you continued through the door. Oh, so you don't want me helping to bring the groceries in. Gotcha. Fine by me. Outside, Ma had started organizing what remained and putting back any loose objects that had fallen out during the trip. When you stepped up to the trunk beside her, she took in a big breath of air, her dress gently swaying around in the breeze.
It's a shame.
It's a shame we had to spend the morning cooped up in that shopping center. It's a beautiful day, don't you think?
You tilted your head to the sky, gazing at the clear blue expanse. It's too hot. Yeah, it is. You closed your eyes and enjoyed the way the sun warmed your face for a few moments before turning back to help Ma with the groceries.
Oh, hi, Cove.
You noticed Mom wave over at Cove, who had just exited his front door, his surfboard propped up under one arm.
Let me see. Surfboard and wetsuit. Where might you be off to on this beautiful day?
Hello, Mr. Wetsuit Guy. Cove instantly startled, not having realized your family was also out here. Even though your mom was the one who called out, you were the one he looked at. Oh, and why would that be? He tried to settle down again. He jogged across the pavement to properly say hello to you and your parents. It was decidedly awkward since Cove had trouble figuring out how close to stand to you. The addition of his unwieldy surfboard made the whole thing seem even clumsier.
Careful with that thing. You'll put someone's eye out.
Mom chuckled and got a whispered reproach from Ma for it. Stop, they're being cute. Just...
Pam.
Please, go easy on him.
Cove winced.
Sorry, Mrs. Wave Rider. Don't mind her, honey. It's a beautiful day for surfing. I haven't been out on the waves in a long time. I'm jealous. Yeah, I'm hoping to get a few good waves before it gets dark.
Hi, Cove. He had relaxed a lot when Ma spoke to him, but the rigidity came back as soon as you said something.
Hey.
Hi. Cove managed to grin, and it almost felt like you had butterflies in your stomach. Almost.
Do you want to come hang out there later?
You notice the flush of red on his cheeks, but that might have just been from the heat, yeah. Sure, I'll meet you there when we're done.
Cool.
When he spoke again, he tried to contain some of the excitement that was clearly ready to burst.
It'll be fun. You're not done unloading, right? Can I help?
No, no, no.
This is our job. You go enjoy the beach. Molly can catch up as soon as she is finished here. All right. I'll see you.
Yeah, bye for now. Cove headed on down to the beach with more skip in his step than normal. It was really cute. You smiled softly to yourself at the thought that you'd be joining him soon.
He sure seemed to perk up after you agreed to meet him there. I wonder why that could be.
Ma. Yes, that's the only appropriate response. Ma.
Now who's giving him a hard time, Lonnie?
Shush.
It's different.
Mom's face broke into an incredulous grin.
In what way? I'm being supportive, and he can't hear it.
Mom full-on laughed that time.
Lonnie.
You're the worst of us when it comes to this, honestly. I keep trying to warn people, but they won't listen. I only want to help. I think it's fair to say he might need it. Meddler, but you have a point. Right?
You narrowed your eyes at their teasing, and they simply chuckled conspiratorially before taking more bags from the trunk and heading inside. Squint. Once everything had finally been taken in and put away, you got yourself ready to meet Cove at the beach. You had a surfboard in your room that you wanted to take with you. Your family had a surfboard around here somewhere. You weren't sure what you were going to do. He was surfing, and you didn't know how. Now, I don't know how to surf. This is true. But I always wanted to surf, and I think if I had lived near a beach, I would have learned to surf, especially with supportive parents like Ma and Mom. So I think my mom would probably have worried that I would break my neck. But I'm going to take control of my destiny in this situation and be like, I think I would have pushed to learn how to surf because it looks so cool. So yeah, and I love the water. So of course I'm going to surf. You'd been practicing your surfing more and more lately. It was always ready to go. After grabbing your board and getting everything ready, you headed down to the beach.
Have fun.
Stay safe.
When you arrived at the shore, you were greeted by the crash of waves and the soft calls of seagulls. You took in a lungful of the ocean air and felt your tan skin warm in the sun. You noticed a small setup nearby with a towel, some sunscreen, and a bottle of water. It must be Cove's. Good on the boy for hydrating. You spotted Cove himself nearby. He hadn't gone out to sea yet. He was just sitting in the sand at the water's edge, his board propped up beside him. You walked up beside him. Hi, I made it.
Molly.
Hey. He looked up at you with a smile and quickly hopped to his feet.
I was wondering if you were still coming.
Sorry, I felt like something was knocking on my window? Animal? Bug? Mineral? I don't know. It stopped now. Not creepy at all. Yeah, I probably would have apologized. Sorry you had to wait.
You don't have to say that. It's okay.
Then he cast his eyes out towards the waves. Cope, I'm not that good at surfing. I'm ready to get in there. Want to have a competition? Will you give me some tips? How confident am I? You know what? I'll just do that. I'm ready to get in there.
Me too. Let's go.
You tucked your board under your arm and nodded at him, and the two of you ran into the water together. Nice. You paddled out into the sea to where the good waves were. The water was cool against your skin.
Mine's nice.
Hey, you. We got a CG.
Not too calm, but nothing crazy. It looks perfect today.
He smiled at you, and you couldn't help but smile back. You felt totally content. Until Cove kicked the water a little too hard and it inadvertently splashed you. Hey!
Sorry.
The apology did not come across as especially repentant, as he was practically laughing when he said it. Splash. You laughed, but waited for an opening for revenge. The second he looked away, you kicked back, spraying him. It quickly devolved into a splash war. You had no idea who was winning at the point when the ocean decided to throw its weight around and douse you both with a tall wave. I guess the ocean won. Cove laughed, his smile infectious. You couldn't help but join in.
Draw?
I wish there was like an option to be like the ocean won. Yeah. You nodded at one another from your boards, bringing the war to a peaceful end. Cove pointed out into the distance. He followed his finger to see some nice-looking waves.
Hey, let's get going.
You agreed. No doubt there was room for you to do something good. You were ready to have some fun. You started taking on waves. Cove tried out a few tricks, and you got into the rhythm of finding just the right waves.
Have you ever thought of what the fish and other ocean animals think we're doing here?
Have you?
Not really.
Okay. It seemed that was all he was going to say on the topic. Why would you ask that if you've never thought about it? You started to turn away to paddle to the next wave when he spoke again.
Oh, that's weird.
Cove reached in the water and pulled out something small and brown. Was it a tiny stick?
A clothespin?
Cove looked at it with disbelief. He blinked slowly. Then he raised the clothespin with a mischievous look in his eye.
I guess it's needed. How else would dolphins hang up their flippers? They've got to be stored somehow.
Oh, good grief. I'm not clever enough to come back with a pun. Please don't. He giggled shyly and kicked lightly in the water. Not the puns. You played around for the rest of the afternoon and kept chatting in between the waves. You thought about how you would surf today. You rocked it. The waves loved you. You did pretty good. You're definitely improving. You were okay today, nothing special. You were reminded there was a reason why you needed to practice. Okay, I'm gonna have to roll for this one because, I have no real-world experience to go off of. So I'm gonna roll a 1 to 4. A 2! I did pretty good. I'm improving. I'll take that. Boink. A while ago, you never would have been able to ride some of today's waves. You really were learning. If you kept this up, who knew how good you'd be at the end of summer? Cove gave you a lot of encouragement about your performance. Thanks. What an afternoon. The setting sun was visible on the horizon. Every time you would look away, it had sunk a little lower. The beach was darkening, but still pleasantly warm. You knew you should get out of the water before it was completely dark in the sea. You rode one last wave to get back to the beach. There you picked up your surfboard and gave it a quick once-over. Cove followed behind you to the shore. He put his board with his other things and grabbed his towel to start drying off. As he ruffled his hair with the towel, you watched the sunset together. The colors were beautiful in the distance and the shadows around you deepened. There was no need for words between you two as you both enjoyed the sight for a moment. Cove broke the silence.
The waves were good today, I think.
Perfect for surfing. He nodded mildly.
You've gotten so good.
You couldn't help but smile at the praise. It meant a lot coming from him. You chatted a little more until the conversation truly died out and all you heard was the rhythmic sound of waves. Then Cove sighed.
The day can't be over. Not yet.
He scowled into the distance as if the sun exiting the sky was a personal offense.
Don't you think it should be longer?
It's either this one or this one. I often felt like that on days that I really enjoyed, so I'll say yeah. Cove stood up straight in defiance of the approaching darkness.
I'm not gonna go home yet. I wanna go... somewhere. I don't know.
Cove was still dripping in salt water, so you weren't sure what the alternative was. Wetsuits were fine for the beach, and not much else. It wasn't a good idea for him to lug his surfboard around town, either. You'll be real cute in that wetsuit wherever you go. Oh, welp. I got it. I'ma head out. Yeah, you know what? Heck it. Yeah, I want to do something too. Cove nodded with a smile. Then he looked down the shore with wide, shining eyes.
There's at least one place that's always okay to hang out in, no matter what time it is. The park.
I was just thinking about that. I'm like, can we go to the park? Do I have the option to suggest the park? You nodded. The park was virtually always empty. Even Elizabeth only went over there nowadays as she was looking for you. How times have changed. She used to be so protective of the place. In fact, the only person there was a chance of running into might be that Jeremy kid again. Joy. You brought the idea up to Cove and he cringed. But...
I'm still going. The sun is still there, a little. I'm staying out as long as it is.
I'll come with you. I want to swing.
Okay, let's go.
Cove took a minute to put his stuff in order. He made sure to get it all, though didn't take much care to shake the sand off. You dealt with your own things. Yeah, probably stuff everything together quickly and then deal with it later. I'm done, Cove. He rolled his eyes with a bent smile at the announcement. What? He led the way down the beach to the park. It wasn't far, so it didn't take you long at all. The sun still hadn't completely disappeared just yet when you made your arrival. Cove stuck his surfboard upright in the sand and tossed his towel over top. By now, the two of you were mostly dry. The summer breeze on your skin kept you pleasantly warm. Cove idly went over to the monkey bars. He grabbed them, feet flat on the ground, and pretended to go across. He had definitely grown in the past few years. So jealous of that. You were still short enough to use the monkey bars yourself. Sometimes being tiny had its perks. I can still use the monkey bars. When he got to a bar in the middle, Cove pulled himself up and through, then sat on top of the bars. I always thought that was... I don't have any upper body strength. There's no way I'd be able to do it. His legs dangled off the side of the bar he perched on. Gosh, I wish, but I don't have the upper body strength. I would have just made a fool of myself. Oh, okay, hold on. I want to, like, sit with him, but I'm tiny. I'm tiny and weak. Okay, I'm gonna try sitting on my swing and see what happens. You sat right down on a free seat and started swinging your legs, first slowly, but then you added more power to your kicks. Air rushed past your face and ruffled your hair. You built up enough momentum to let it carry you. It was a lazy arc, not high or fast, perfect for having a conversation. Nice. Okay, I'm happy with this.
Guess what?
He smiled broadly and raised an eyebrow.
He's not here.
Right! It was true, there wasn't a single sign of Jeremy. Looks like it was just going to be the two of you tonight. Cove hung his head and groaned dramatically. Your eyes widened when he whipped his head back up.
No way.
Are you pretending to be Jeremy?
Ugh. I can't believe how dumb my parents are for forcing me to come to this stupid place.
You were taken aback and blinked for a second before you realized he was quoting Jeremy. A wink. Parents don't know anything. Cove chuckled back at you, amused. You looked around. The old park, the streets you knew like the back of your hand, and the beach. These were your stomping grounds. You wondered how Cove actually felt. How much was his joke just a joke, and how much was sincere dislike of this place? Moving had never been his choice. Would I have asked? I wouldn't have assumed this. I would have either asked or just let the silence go. I'm a flip for it. Heads for asking, tails for being quiet. Hiya! Heads? Alright. Assertive Molly today. Do you actually like this neighborhood?
Do you really have to ask that, Molly?
Cove kicked his legs carelessly as they dangled. He smiled softly.
I like it here. I really do. It's a nice place.
Yay. He didn't hesitate. There was no uncertainty. That was his genuine opinion. Well, of course, I'm here after all. Yeah, I like it too. A contented feeling fell between the two of you. Nice. It didn't take long for the day to finally draw to a close. The sun was gone and it was dark. You chatted a while longer, but it was definitely winding down. I wish days were longer.
I wish this day was longer.
His feet kicked out. It made him look like a pouty child.
Oh well.
Cove sighed. It was time to go home. He hopped down from the monkey bars with a thump when his feet hit the ground. You stopped moving your legs and stood when the swing slowed down. The chains rattled and the swing smacked into you a bit, its energy not entirely spent. Cove grabbed a surfboard and threw his towel around his neck. With his water bottle in hand, he was ready. You both began your trek up the road. It was a quiet night, and you didn't run into anyone else. In what felt like no time at all, you had reached your street. As you walked, Cove smiled to himself. It was a soft expression, and you couldn't help but wonder what put it there. Cove?
I just remember when we were younger. It used to be such a big deal to come home after dark.
You could indeed recall. If you got sandy, your parents would have something to say. If you got wet, your parents would have more to say. And if you came home after dark, well, your moms and his dad better have said it was okay beforehand. You used to need permission for everything. That small comment he made exposed just how much freedom you really had this summer. Cove looked up into the sky, a smile still on his face as the two of you walked side by side reminiscing. When you came to your houses, you turned to each other.
Thanks for today, Molly.
It was definitely an interesting experience. Thanks for the awesome day. Cove waved and you both turned around to your respective houses. This was a pleasant end to the outing, you thought. Nice. That was a cute short little one. Maybe we got time for one more. Just one more. Alright. Since I still have 1 to 4 selected, I'll just do another roll. 3. Mall. Okay. Let's go to the mall today. Oh look, more wetsuits. Lee's visit today turned out to be more involved than you expected. After overhearing where the Holden family was going, Lee insisted on seeing Mr. Holden's shop firsthand. Oh, this is his shop. Nice. An hour later, and Lee was busy looking at every item on display. Because Cove's dad offered supplies, lessons, and tours, his shop had all the scuba-related stuff you could imagine. Fins, masks, suits, and snorkels. After circling around the shop, you finally stopped and looked at the whole room. Yeah, I probably wouldn't hang out here a ton, but I probably, came once in a while, I would think. You preferred it that way. It meant there was always something new to look at, even if it was just a layout change. I was unhappy. Is this all we're gonna do? You felt okay. Not your first choice, but not bad. Probably. I'm okay with it. You and Cove were there recently. It was fine to see the shop, but you wouldn't mind doing something else today. Lee was still busy poking through the various wetsuits displayed, so you decided to see what Derek and Cove were doing. They were too absorbed in their conversation to notice you standing near them, leaning against the counter. You were able to pick up the topic quickly.
Anyway,
My dad told me the new stuff is selling like crazy. Yeah, the material has this new blend with less neoprene. My dad says people are really interested in it.
It brought a smile to your face, hearing that the shop was doing well. I'm bad at, interrupting conversations, so I probably would have just kept listening. It was interesting just to watch them speak about what they knew.
But really, there's just so much to think about with a business. It's crazy. No matter how much I come, I still don't think I get it.
Cove hummed and nodded in agreement, causing a good-humored laugh from Derek.
I thought you only liked the scuba diving part, not the job part. That's just the best part. I think about other things too.
I gotcha.
Cool. The business side, running it. That's my favorite.
Out of the corner of your eye, you caught movement and you realized that Lee was now standing next to you. When your dad's retired, do you guys think you're gonna carry on the store? Both sons shrugged in unison.
Well,
There's tons of things I could do. My dad thinks so too. He doesn't want me to plan on working here forever.
Cove's gaze fell to the floor. You could see the conflict flashing across his face.
I don't know.
It's a lot, being the real boss of something and totally in charge.
If my moms had their own business, I'd take it over. If my moms had one, I wouldn't want to take over either. I can't run a business. I wouldn't want to take over someone else's shop either. I want to do my own thing. Then do you think your dads would let me take over this shop? No matter what you both do, shop or no shop, you'll be amazing. Yeah, I like the bottom one. I think that's probably what I would say. No matter what you both do, shop or no shop, you'll be amazing. Derek smiled in equal parts happiness and bashfulness. He bounced on his feet a bit.
Thanks, Molly. I'm happy you believe in us. Me too.
Cove's parents left the back office and came over, catching your attention.
Sorry, kids. It looks like it's gonna be a long one. I know usually others hold the fort down, but I really need to stay here today. I know you just wanted a little visit. It'd be boring getting stuck all day because of me. Kyra can take my car and go back to the neighborhood.
Cove and Derek gave him an understanding look. Mr. Holden crossed his arms and flashed you all a big smile, trying to lift the mood.
The one condition is that someone has to remember to come back for me later. You don't get to strand me here, no matter how funny that might be.
Kyra laughed and gave a thumbs up. Mr. Holden seemed satisfied with that. He moved on with the explanation.
Derek, your dad also has his hands full today, so he doesn't have time to run you back home.
it's okay.
That's alright, sir.
The title, Sir, got an awkward chuckle out of Cliff, which was cut short when Kyra elbowed him teasingly.
What do you think?
You already said I could borrow your car. Why don't I take all the kids somewhere fun for the afternoon?
Absolutely.
That's fine with me. Just please, come back eventually. Sometime today, Kyra.
After multiple jokes about being left with no ride, you had to wonder if that actually happened in their past together.
Maybe. It might be a reference to something.
For you, my good sir, I swear, cross my heart. Happy with the promise, Cliff took out his black wallet and offered a $50 bill to Kyra.
Here, in case you need gas or anything else while you're out.
Kyra smiled knowingly and accepted the bill without hesitation.
Thank you.
Cove's dad stuck the wallet into his back pocket while he waved with the free hand.
Okay, time for me to jump back into work. Have fun for me. Bye, Dad.
Bye!
Bye, sir.
Bye.
Goodbye, sirs and madams.
Thanks. He left the room with a wink and flare, disappearing into the employees-only area of the shop. When Mr. Holden was out of sight, Kyra silently strolled over to the counter and carefully placed the $50 bill there. She turned back around and beamed a large smile at you and the others.
Come on, gang! Let's see if this town has a mall.
Yeah!
Unable to contain her excitement, Lee actually jumped with joy, while Cove and Derek just grinned. There wasn't a mall in your hometown, but Mr. Holden's store wasn't in Sunset Bird. It might be possible to find a mall out here. Yeah, I'd be excited, if it's something I don't go to that often. You didn't show your enthusiasm much, but you could definitely feel it.
Let's go!
She quickly herded the group out of the store into the car.
Cove.
Nice sunglasses.
As the driver, I get to choose my partner in crime. Naturally, I bestow the position of shotgun to my baby.
Her comment had both Derek and Lee snickering. Cove was for sure embarrassed over the phrasing and blatant favoritism, but he took the seat by his mom without complaint. He's like, I still get to ride shotgun, so... I don't know if I would have jokingly complained. I might have chuckled, but that would have been it. So I'll just say I'm fine with that. You got shotgun in your own car a lot. It made sense that he got priority here.
I'll take the middle seat.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't want a window seat. You two can have them.
Are you cool with that? You thought it was odd that anyone would give up a window seat, but you knew Derek tried to be especially polite when he was a guest. You nodded.
Fantastic.
Good. Sounds like we're all in agreement.
Everyone squeezed into the car, buckling in, and Kyra turned the radio on. She set it to a top 40s pop station. I was into it. Quickly, you recognized the song playing. It was a new one by an artist you were listening to a lot recently. It wasn't long until your group realized that they were lost. But after driving in enough circles, Kyra's struggle paid off when she found a local mall. Excuse me. There were more cheers from Lee as Kyra pulled into a parking spot. Yo yo! Nice. Once your group had made it inside, the first order of business on this trip was checking what this mall actually had. Where should we go? I think I see a makeup store up ahead. She rolled up on her tiptoes to get a better view. Meanwhile, Derek was eyeing the directory.
There's a chocolate shop! Seriously, we have to go there!
Yes! Wait! And we need to find a decent jewelry shop. I need new hair ties and barrettes.
Nice.
We've also gotta at least look for a game store. There's tons of things you can't get anywhere but a store that's just for video games.
Hey, what are you thinking, Cove?
I want to look at the fish in the pet store.
That was always my favorite thing to do at the mall. Stop. More when I was younger, but I always loved to end the day at the mall by looking at the fish in the pet store. You could have guessed that much. Anywhere else? He smiled with some bashfulness.
Can we go to a camping and outdoor supply shop?
So...
What about you, Molly?
Whoa. I would like to go 13-year-old me. Definitely the video game store. Pet store for sure. Definitely the food court, because I always get hungry. A bookstore is a must. And is there anything else? And art and supplies. That'll be good. You know what? Accessories too. I want some necklaces and rings and things. And that's all that really interested me.
That's certainly a list. Good thing we have all afternoon.
Yeah!
I have my own stops I want to make. Let's agree to regroup here at 7 p.m.
What?
You're not coming with us? We're all in the same building. You won't be as alone as you think. I'll only be a few minutes away at most. You're old enough to enjoy the mall without me hovering.
Okay.
Okay.
See you soon.
Be back here at 7 p.m. Toodaloo!
Leaving Derek and Lee stunned by their newfound freedom, Cairo walked off. When she was almost out of sight, Derek's face twisted in confusion.
Whoa. She's really gone. I can't believe she just did that.
This is so cool! We get to do whatever we want!
Yeah, I would have felt unsure. Because I always felt better having, like, a responsible adult on hand. Well, an adult on hand. I don't know how responsible most of the adults were, but there's some kind of reassurance of having an adult nearby. Is it me, or does it feel weird to be at the mall without a parent there? My moms wouldn't have done this.
It's not just you.
Trust me. It'll be okay. We're here together.
And she's not gone for real. She'll be somewhere around.
With the decision already made, Derek tried to pull together his earlier enthusiasm for the trip.
So,
Where are we going first? Time's a-wasting. Whatever's closest.
Things were coming together, but you realized there might be a flaw in today's sudden plans.
What's wrong, Molly?
Did everybody bring money with them?
yeah.
I always have some on me when I come all the way out here.
13. Yeah, I would have had money on me as well. Immediately, you felt better about the situation. It would have been a downer to not be able to even think about something at the mall because they didn't have money. I'm good. Now that everything was squared away, you explored the mall together as a group. There were many shops that you managed to venture into so far. You all even went into a video game store, leaving you with a pep in your step. This was better than you'd thought, and there was still so much to see. After having hit many of the top priority stores, you found yourself passing by a small booth. It was decorated in wind chimes of various sizes. You raised a hand up to one of the smaller ones. What sparked your attention next was Cove. You thought for sure he was going to stop at the booth by the way he looked at it, but he kept going.
Do you want one?
It wasn't until Lee asked that you realized that you had stopped in front of the booth without saying anything. Lee just continued to encourage you.
You should get one.
I mean, wind chimes are cool, but, I mean, it's not like I'm like, I gotta get one of those. I'm just looking. It's nice to check stuff out. Lee hummed in agreement and then stared past the booth. Following her gaze, you saw that the boys were already wandering too far ahead. Let's go. After leaving another clothing store, one that Lee couldn't resist exploring, you and your friends found yourselves walking down the main hall of the mall again. It wasn't long until everyone you were with had their eye on the smoothie kiosk ahead.
Should we stop? Yeah.
As you approached, your eye was drawn to the dizzying list of smoothie combinations. A part of you wondered how long it would take to try them all.
Hi there, do you need the rundown of how this works?
Yes, please.
Okay, first off, you pick up to 3 options of fruit or berries. Then I'll add the ice and the store's special smoothie base mix, and then you'll have your very own smoothie for $4. There's only one size.
It's pretty good. Cove leaned over the counter a bit. For several moments, he intently studied the plentiful fruit and berry options.
I want to get a strawberry banana smoothie, with coconut too.
Good choice. Sounds good. Is anyone else getting something?
Can I get one that's just all mango?
Of course.
Thanks. I'd like strawberries, blueberries, and raspberries for mine. Thanks.
The shopkeeper looked at you now. I mean, if everybody's getting a smoothie, I want to have a smoothie. Could I get... Ooh, what options do I have? Banana's always a good choice. And I would like strawberry for sure. And for the final one, thinking either blueberry or kiwi. You know what? Hit me up with that kiwi. And that's everything. At that, everyone went ahead and paid for their individual drinks. You waited over at the other side of the booth where the drinks were put when they were done. Derek bounced on his feet, excited for his to be ready.
Aw.
This is gonna be good.
Lee chimed in with her own enthusiasm.
Everybody says their smoothie-based stuff can make any drink great.
Cove, while quieter, looked just as eager for his smoothie. Luckily, there hadn't been anyone else before you, so it wasn't a long wait. Your group collected the fresh drinks as they were placed on the counter. Straws were placed through the opening at the top of the cup, and the first tentative sips were had. Derek sighed in satisfaction after his taste.
Ugh, mango is too delicious.
Mine is super good too.
Cove nodded and hummed in agreement. His straw was still in his mouth. Yeah, I'm happy with mine, probably. This is perfect.
Cool. We all made excellent choices today.
Yeah.
You wanted to steal a sip. I might have asked to try Lee's, because she's my cousin. I would not have had the guts to ask about the other ones. Hey Lee, can I taste what you got?
As long as you let me try yours too.
Deal. You and Lee swapped cups and took several sips before swapping back. The berry blend tasted very strong.
I like yours, but I'm really happy I got this.
Thanks, Lee.
You're welcome.
I'm always there to help.
And I'm satisfied with that. As your group continued to wander the mall, you came to an area in the path that was wider. Hello. Oh no, the rides. In the center of the opening was a collection of quarter-operated ride-on machines. Derek stopped as soon as he saw them, smiling ear to ear.
I want to ride! I think we might be too big.
No way.
We're not that old yet.
We might be. He eagerly headed over to the machines, wanting to get a better look. Lee went along with it, smiling. Yeah, I think at this point I would have been like, it's for small kids. Those are definitely for little kids. You crossed your arms and gave Derek a skeptical look. You figured that even if you could fit on it, that the entire experience would be embarrassing.
Oh, come on. Have some fun.
Reconvening around Derek, you watched as he was focused on the various brightly colored rides. Most were designed to look like real vehicles, but there were also some horse-shaped ones. One of them could even seat 2 people. Scandalous. Girl? Don't you even. Lee leaned in close to you and whispered playfully while pointing directly at the sole machine made for a pair.
You should ride that one with Cove.
She was really onto something there. I would have rolled my eyes. Your response had Lee giggling.
Trust me, it's a brilliant idea.
I called a helicopter. Why?
Cool.
It's the coolest, and I think it'll move the most.
He started digging in his pockets, pulling out whatever money he had left.
Wait,
Is everything okay?
I need 4 quarters, right? Yeah. I only have 2!
There has to be more between all of us. Hold on.
Pockets, wallets, and purses were checked over. Derek still had 2. Cove had only 1. Lee ended up with the most at 3. You didn't have any.
Don't worry about it.
You can have mine. Thanks, but you don't have to. It's not enough for me. And even if it was, it'd be dumb to ride while you had to watch.
Cove shrugged. He had tried, failed, and looked unsure of what to do next. Yeah, couldn't we exchange dollar bills for more quarters at a store? Derek slapped a hand to his cheek, eyes wide.
Okay.
Oh! Yeah, that'll work! Let's do it!
The group scattered to various shops around. When you shortly reconvened at the rides, everyone had more than enough quarters.
Please.
Don't ask me like that, Derek.
Molly, are you going to join us on this little kid ride?
Please?
You sighed, admitting defeat. Dan, peer pressure. I'll do it.
Yay!
What am I getting? Do I get the horse? Ah, Lee got the horse, dang it. There were enough machines that everyone claimed one for themselves. Derek got his coveted helicopter. Lee was happily on a horse. Cove waited to choose last. It seemed he didn't want to take a ride someone else wanted when he cared so little about it. You picked... I mean, I would normally pick a horse. But I also have to admit, a part of me would have, like, gone here to see if Cove would have joined me. I'm curious. I have to know. For science, I have to know. I'm gonna sit here and just see what happens. And if Cove goes somewhere else, I'm gonna come back and pick my horse. Okay, so Cove took one of the free single-seater cars. Okay. So I'm getting a horse. It was a grand steed. Cove took one of the free single-seater cars once you had gotten set. Looks were exchanged across the way, and you each popped the coins in at the same time. The little ride stuttered to life. As the machines began moving up and down and side to side, Lee and Derek couldn't contain their laughter. Derek started waving from the window at the helicopter, and Lee reached out to see if she could touch anyone as their machine jolted closer to hers. Cove, on the other hand, just gripped the sides of the car. He was struggling to remain in the seat, looking very uncomfortable. You were quickly regretting your decision. Probably. So I could either wave at Derek, grab Lee's hand. I'd probably try to encourage Cove. It was terrible seeing how unhappy Cove was with this. He wondered if there was anything you could do to make him feel better. Cove, don't worry. Cove's concentration was broken when he automatically looked in your direction. He looked at you meekly. I don't think we can fall off these. Well, unless we try hard enough. Cove shook his head and his hands gripped the ride like his life depended on it. We'll be fine. You gave him a little thumbs up and he had to fight to keep frowning. But ultimately, he weakly returned the thumbs up with his free hand. The rest of the ride passed by without any tumbles, and you were sure you even caught a small smile break at times on Cove's face. Yay! Soon, all rides came to a stop and the group dismounted. Derek looked absolutely pleased at the conclusion of this pit stop. Then you noticed something out of the corner of your eye. You tilted your head to look directly at it, and you burst into laughter.
What's funny?
You turned back to your group and nodded in the direction of where you were looking. Isn't that one of those machines that takes dollars and gives quarters back? The kind to help people who don't have quarters already? Everyone's head moved that way and saw that you were right. Derek chuckled awkwardly.
That's exactly what that is.
Oh.
We're kinda dumb.
We have to be to miss that this whole time.
Come on, let's just put this behind us. There's still places open. We haven't been everywhere yet.
Totally.
Here.
You moved along from one stop towards your next, still jovial from the experience. Shortly into your walk, Lee ran over to a nearby trash can and tossed her smoothie cup. Derek went after her and threw his cup away. You followed suit and got rid of your empty cup too. Cove is still nursing his. The clock inched closer to 7 p.m. as you all made your way back to the directory. It was hard to believe how fast the day went by.
So...
Where do you think your mom ended up today? We didn't see her anywhere. I don't know. She's just like that.
Ooh, it's a mystery.
Despite having vanished for the entire trip so far, when 7 p.m. hit, you spotted Kyra coming right over, waving cheerily. Well, I'll give her that she's punctual. As soon as she was close enough, she pinched Cove's cheek.
Hey, yeah.
Hey, baby and friends. Hi, Mom.
He pushed her hand back with one hand and rubbed his cheek with the other.
Did you have a good day, gang?
Yeah!
Today was awesome. We did so much.
Not bad.
It was fun.
It could have been worse. There was no hiding your joy. Like the others, you were smiling ear to ear because today went so much better than you expected. I'm glad we came here.
That I do.
I want to hear all about it during the ride back.
She clapped her hands together once, making sure she had everyone's undivided attention.
Speaking of that, we better head out. Cliff must be missing us, and you've got to be starving. It's dinner time, and you haven't eaten yet. Yeah.
Everyone followed her lead and started walking out the door to the parking lot. Something about what Kyra said felt off to you. There were tons of places to eat. It's a mall. You could have had dinner. You wondered if it was just a good guess, but you could feel your eyebrows raise when it dawned on you. She might have been keeping an eye on you after all. How would I feel about that? I don't know if I would really have a strong feeling about it. It seemed kind of sketchy. Maybe the bottom one. You found it hard to put a finger on exactly how to react. Exactly. You never had a problem in the first place with her staying with you today. It felt pointless to you, but it wasn't something worth getting worked up over either. Yep, perfect. Shaking off those thoughts, you caught up with the others. Keeping the same seating arrangements as earlier, you all piled into the car and started heading back to the store. The drive went by without any problems as it was filled with chatter about the various things everyone saw around the mall. Soon enough, you'd arrived at your destination. It was a much faster trip considering this time Kyra knew where she was going. Hearing the light jingle of bells from the front door being opened, Cliff poked his head out from the back. He lit up at seeing who was here. It's the whole family.
Hey, sport! Did everyone have an adventure? Hi, Dad. We had a blast!
Yes!
We found the mall.
Aw.
The mall? Wish I could have joined.
He deflated in an exaggerated way, his shoulders sloped. Kyra put a hand on his arm and smiled.
Any whoosies.
There'll be other times. Are you set here?
Almost. Mr. Holden sighed for real. He then pulled himself together, standing up straight.
Do you mind?
I need just a little more time to finish up. Will you be alright filling time for a bit longer? It's okay. Yes, sir.
No problem, Mr. Holden.
Sure. We can have fun here.
Excellent. What a great group of kids.
He gave an approving thumbs up and Kyra nodded along.
I'll give you a hand. I remember the ropes. Why, thank you.
They walked side by side to the back room. Before he was out of sight, Cliff stopped and looked over his shoulder. If you leave the shop, don't go far. It's getting late. And then the parents were gone again. Let's go to the docks. They're right down the way. Yeah!
Oh, I saw those on the way here and really wanted to check it out. Are you coming, Molly?
Alright. With a smile, Cove showed the way. Ooh. The docks, cool. Between the warm summer air and the smell of the ocean, you couldn't ask for a better night.
Thanks. Thanks for letting me come.
Me too.
Right?
I'm happy we did this. Today was great.
Cove, your mom and dad are really cool.
Really?
Totally.
Cove looked at Lee oddly. He ran a hand through his hair and then his puzzled expression cracked with a chuckle.
I guess.
I guess sometimes they are.
You continued walking. Every so often you would look up at the sky and see several stars poking out between the clouds. At one point you noticed that Cove stopped while Lee and Derek kept going on ahead, busily chatting. Initially, you wondered if something was wrong, but you quickly noticed that he still looked to be in good spirits. You decided to hang back with Cove. He gave you a quick acknowledging look when you stopped at his side. You could taste the sea salt as you took a deep breath of the ocean air. Silently, you and Cove watched the ocean for a little while. There was something about the waves that you always found soothing. You couldn't think of a better way to end a busy day. Not much time later, Derek's chipper voice caught your attention. You and Cove both turned your gaze down the pier.
What are you doing there, slowpokes? Get over here!
Hey! Come on!
You looked at Cove the same time he looked at you. You grinned and nodded your head in the direction of your friends. He gave you a small smile in return. Your footsteps echoed against the wooden planks of the dock and into the night as you ran to catch up. Nice. Alright, delightful! We got 2 moments done today. They were cute. Very, very cute and wholesome. Alright, only 3 more left to go. We'll see what we do next time.